Hulk Hogan, A to Z, the legacy, emotion, and endurance of a wrestling icon. Athlete first. Before the lights of WrestleMania and the roar of 80,000 fans, Hulk Hogan, born Terry Eugene Bollea, was an athlete. As a young man growing up in Augusta, Georgia, and later in Florida, his first passion was baseball, but it was weightlifting and bodybuilding that eventually led him to professional wrestling, where his imposing 6'7" frame and charisma were impossible to ignore. Birth of Hulkamania. The birth of Hulkamania in the early 1980s wasn't just a wrestling phenomenon, it was a cultural shift. Hogan debuted in WWF, now WWE, with a bang, capturing the WWF Championship in 1984 from the Iron Sheik. Fans instantly connected with his larger-than-life persona. With a rip of his shirt and a booming voice, he became more than a wrestler. He became a hero. See catchphrases that defined a generation. "What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?" was more than a tagline. It was a rallying cry, along with his mantra, train, say your prayers, and take your vitamins. Hogan spoke directly to children and families. He was a rare wrestling figure who could cross over into mainstream culture without losing his edge. Dominance in the ring. Throughout the 1980s, Hogan dominated the wrestling world. With matches against Andre the Giant, Roddy Piper, Ultimate Warrior, and others, he consistently headlined WrestleMania and major pay-per-view events. His style wasn't technical, it was emotional, theatrical, and explosive. Every leg drop felt like the climax of a story, every pinfall a victory for the fans. Entertainment beyond the ring. Hogan wasn't confined to the squared circle. He appeared in films, Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny, had a Saturday morning cartoon, Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling, and even released music. He became a pop culture juggernaut, blurring the lines between wrestling and mainstream entertainment. Fan connection. No wrestler has ever connected with fans quite like Hogan. He looked them in the eye, pointed, and cupped his hand to his ear. He made them feel seen. For kids, he was a superhero. For adults, he was nostalgic comfort. He encouraged belief in yourself, in good over evil, in the power of perseverance. Global icon. From Tokyo to Toronto, Hogan's name carried weight. In Japan, he was revered not just for his size but his in-ring psychology. His international popularity helped bring wrestling to the global stage, well before the internet era made such crossover easy. Heel turn of the century. Perhaps one of Hogan's most shocking and brilliant career moves came in 1996, when he turned heel, villain, in WCW and formed the NWO, New World Order. Fans were stunned. The All-American hero was now wearing black, sneering at crowds, and spraying graffiti. But this twist revitalized his career and proved his versatility as a performer. Influence on wrestling generations. Countless wrestlers, from John Cena to The Rock, have credited Hogan with inspiring their careers. He showed that wrestling could be more than sport. It could be story, theater, myth. He built the blueprint for the modern sports entertainer. Judgment and redemption. Like many public figures, Hogan has faced controversy. His legal battles, personal choices, and leaked recordings sparked backlash and disappointment. Yet many fans chose to remember the man who inspired them as kids. His ability to seek redemption, own his mistakes, and return to the public eye with humility is part of what keeps his emotional legacy alive. Since had a king of WrestleMania, no one is more associated with WrestleMania than Hulk Hogan. He headlined the first edition in 1985 and went on to be the main attraction in 8 of the first 9. His match against Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 in front of over 93,000 fans remains one of the most iconic moments in sports entertainment history. Loyalty and legacy. Despite his ups and downs, Hogan has remained loyal to the business that made him a star. He continues to appear at WWE events, inspire fans at meet and greets, and participate in documentaries that celebrate wrestling's evolution. His legacy isn't just about victories, it's about longevity, love, and loyalty to his craft and fans. Mustache and muscle. Aesthetically, Hogan is unforgettable. The blonde Fu Manchu mustache, the bandana, the 24-inch pythons, his arms, and the ripped tank tops made him a living action figure. But behind the muscles, was a man who worked tirelessly to entertain and inspire. And Nostalgia King. Few characters ignite nostalgia the way Hogan does. One riff of real American, and crowds young and old light up. His return appearances always draw standing ovations, not just because of what he did, but because of what he meant to people at different stages in their lives. Oh, overcoming the odds. In the ring and in life, Hogan's story has always been one of overcoming obstacles, giants, injuries, betrayals, public scrutiny. His resilience is central to his appeal. He taught fans that you don't give up when you're down, you fight back stronger. Pop culture phenomenon. Hogan was on lunchboxes, bed sheets, cereal boxes, and Saturday morning TV. He was referenced in rap lyrics, sitcoms, and cartoons. He was the face of a generation. Few athletes or entertainers have reached that level of brand recognition. Cue quiet contributions. Outside the spotlight, Hogan supported countless causes, especially children's charities. He frequently visited hospitals, supported Make-A-Wish kids, and helped raise awareness for health and fitness among youth. While he's known for loud entrances, some of his most meaningful contributions were quiet and compassionate. Rock and Wrestling Era Leader. Hogan was the face of the Rock and Wrestling Connection, a cross-promotional strategy that united WWE with MTV, Cyndi Lauper, and mainstream media. It catapulted wrestling into the mainstream and made sports entertainment a global phenomenon. Strength beyond the physical. Yes, Hogan was physically strong, but his greatest strength was emotional. He gave fans courage. He inspired sick kids, lonely teens, and struggling adults to keep going. That kind of strength can't be measured in titles. It's measured in hearts touched. Television star. In addition to his wrestling fame, Hogan starred in reality shows, including Hogan Knows Best, which gave fans a look into his personal life. It was another way he stayed connected with audiences and revealed the more vulnerable sides of the wrestling icon. Unforgettable moments. From body slamming Andre the Giant to facing The Rock at WrestleMania X8, Hogan delivered moments that transcended wrestling. They were emotionally unforgettable, often representing the clash of eras, ideologies, or generations. The voice of a generation. That gravelly, confident voice became part of the soundtrack of the 80s and 90s. Whether yelling into a mic or starring in commercials, Hogan's voice, like his image, was instantly recognizable, comforting, and motivating. Wrestling's greatest showman. Hogan was never about technical perfection. He was about storytelling, spectacle, and emotion. Every match had stakes. Every promo had fire. He made fans believe, not just in him, but in themselves. That's the mark of a true showman. X factor of entertainment. Call it charisma, call it star power. Hogan had the X factor. The thing you can't teach or fake. It's what allowed him to fill arenas, sell out merchandise, and headline for over 3 decades. That intangible spark made him unforgettable. Well, years of influence. At 71 years old, Hogan continues to influence wrestling culture and entertainment. New generations may not have seen him live in his prime, but they feel his impact in every wrestler who walks the ramp, flexes in the ring, or speaks to the crowd like a superhero. Zenith of wrestling fame. There may never be another star who reaches the zenith of global wrestling fame quite like Hogan did. His rise was not just athletic, it was emotional, cultural, and personal for millions. Hogan wasn't just the top of the card, he was the top of the world. Final thoughts. Hulk Hogan's story is more than championship gold and catchphrases. It's about how a man with a mission became a hero to many. His emotional legacy is stitched into the hearts of fans across generations. From the ring to reality, from scandal to redemption, from strength to vulnerability, Hogan gave the world someone to believe in. And even today, Hulkamania still runs wild. Last words to his close friend and manager, Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart, Hogan's longtime manager and dear friend, shared that their final conversation occurred about 2 weeks before Hogan's passing. In classic Hogan fashion, he ended the call with a nostalgic reminder. "Remember, keep on dancing." Hart reflected on the emotional weight of that parting message, saying it echoed their decades-long friendship and Hogan's enduring sense of hope and joy. Final conversation with his daughter. Brooke Hogan. According to Brooke, their last exchange happened approximately 2 weeks before Hulk Hogan's wedding in 2023. Despite an estranged relationship, Brooke used the opportunity to express her love and concern. She told him, "I love you." She urged him to slow down, warning him about his declining health. Hogan responded with a vague apology and ended the call without further engagement. Though their relationship remained strained, Brooke has said she finds peace in knowing she said what she needed to in that final conversation.